All right, good morning, everybody, and it's time for the Kelly Williams Show. Yay!
Hooray. I love it.
I know, really, it's the Kelly Williams Show, but that's what me and Ken call me. I'm so excited today because I've got my new friend, Ken Walls, and he is a marketing genius guru and an influencer. And so we're going to get to know Ken today, and I'm so excited because we met through one of my dear friends, Jennifer Moran. And because I've known Jennifer, I think for like 17 years or something. And she's going to be tuning in today. But it's just so much fun. I was so blessed and honored to be on your show a couple of weeks ago. And I was very excited today to get to visit with you and get to know you more and kind of find out what really you do, because you seem to help a bunch of people.
I definitely try. That's the goal.
Yeah. Well, all we can do is try.
Yeah. I'm having a difficult time finding this show. I don't know why. Why is it not showing up? I'm trying to share it.
Okay, share. Look on the go to the Kelly Williams Show.
It's your show's not on the Kelly Williams. I'm looking at
I'm
oh,
on
you're
that.
kidding. Oh gosh. Okay.
What happened?
Oh my gosh. I wonder if it only switched to YouTube. Hold on one second.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh God.
You can go up to the top and add just add it.
Yeah, let me see. I'm going to go. Where do I add? Let's see. Kelly Williams Show. Okay, here we go on Facebook. Here we go. Today, start time, save. Okay. So now it's coming up on Facebook. I don't know what. No wonder nobody was chiming in yet.
I was like, what is going on? Why don't I see
My
it?
husband pops in. It's not on.
There it is. I see it now.
Hey, oh my gosh, thank goodness. And you know what's so funny is that I just today or last night when I set it up, added the YouTube channel on it. And so that's why I didn't know that it clicked off the Facebook one.
Oh, gotcha.
So I didn't go back and check. So I guess so.
Well, we got it now.
Yay! Okay, so I can share it now too, because now it's on.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got it shared out.
Okay, awesome. So guys, welcome to the Kelly Williams Show page. And I'm so excited that now it's actually on. All right. And we're so excited because I've got Ken Walls, the amazing Ken Walls, on here. And as soon as Jennifer Moran clicks in now and sees it, we're going to talk about Jennifer Moran a little bit, because she's how I met you.
Yeah.
I told you when we got to visit that day, I had heard about you from her like for a long time, like, Kelly, oh my gosh, Ken Walls. And I thought, who is this? He sounds amazing. And it was always this, when she talked about you, it was this just such a wonderful way she spoke about you and how awesome you were and how important you were in her life, in her career, and everything she was doing. And good morning, Michelle. And so good to see you this morning. And so I could not wait. I had so much fun with you on your show. I could not wait to be able to ask you some questions today about what you do and about your background. And so first of all, where are you from?
Well, just so you know, I stayed up all night studying myself just so I'd be able to do this. So
I'm so glad. I'm glad. I'm concerned you may not know the answers.
I am from the great state of Ohio. Go Bucks.
Yay, go Bucks. Well, that's Go Bucks also goes to my high school. So
okay, good.
Go Bucks, and I can say Go Bucks.
Good.
I love it. Okay, so Ken, what did you do before you started getting into all of this?
Well, so I have been in technology for I don't know. I built my very first website in 1994.
Wow.
And yeah, it was back in the days of AOL was still the go-to thing for anything really. And so I it's a long story, but about 18 years ago, I started doing website development professionally. I had a huge change in life. I realized that I had a severe problem with alcohol, and I decided to get into recovery and stop all that, and so now, by the grace of God, I have over 18 years sober. But
Wow.
um,
Congratulations.
thank you. But back before that, I've always been in sales and an entrepreneur and owned businesses, and was a very large direct TV dealer for many years.
Wow.
And back then I was getting phone calls from all over the place asking for parts and things for these satellite systems, and I decided to build a website on my own and figure out how to do it. But I've always been like, since I was 11 years old, I had an old computer a long time ago, taught myself basic computer language and all of these things. So I've just always been into the computer stuff. And when you say got into all of this, I'm assuming you mean the social media stuff and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
So back in 2008 is I think when I got on Facebook. Had no idea what it was, didn't, had no plans for anything with it. And it was around 2014. And of course I, had a couple hundred friends on Facebook, and
Woohoo!
but it, right. And it was about 2014 that the live streaming stuff started coming out, and Periscope became a thing, and then they got purchased by Twitter. And yeah,
I didn't know what happened to them.
yeah, they're still, I use them every day.
Yeah.
But so I started doing all this stuff with Periscope. I was watching a guy named Grant Cardone, and he ended up becoming friends with Grant, and but he was going live on Periscope, and he's like, you got to learn how to do this, and I was like, okay. And I was scared. I had only been on television one time in a news report, a special segment they did on stuff I was doing, and in a positive light, which is odd for the news, but but yeah. But anyway, so I was really terrified to do this live streaming thing. And I faced my fear, and I did it anyway. And I started doing, so, here in the last year or so, people started referring to me as the king of live streaming.
Wow.
I've done over 2,500 live streams now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I've done a few. And I've interviewed over 300 celebrities and entrepreneurs on my morning show that I do every Monday through Friday. I do at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you're one of the guests. I've got your husband coming up soon too.
I know. I'm excited for him to be on the show.
Me too. Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of fell into it. It's been a natural progression for me, but back in 2017, I wrote a book. After 25 years of being told I need to write a book, I finally wrote a book, and it became a bestseller on Amazon. It hit #1 on Amazon, and
wow,
which is amazing to me. But I got it there by doing this live streaming stuff. I did a 6.5 hour live stream event on the day that my book launched, and pushed it to the top very, very quickly. It was, so
Yeah,
Did I answer your question? I don't know if I did.
yeah, it did, because then you answered 1, 2, 3, 4 questions actually. No, and it's really good because, and I want to say hi to Colton Trout who's watching. Hey, Colton. He owns a business right here in Kima. He is a social media guy, so I'm excited that he's getting to watch. And then he's part of a book that just went to New York Times bestseller list
Wow.
this week, so it's exciting.
Wow.
You know, the thing is, so many people, it's like I had somebody ask me this the other day. What is an influencer? Because people hear it and they see it and they don't, and if they're not like, involved in the social media world, they don't really understand what that is. Do you tell people what to do and they do it?
Your sound is all staticky all of a sudden. No. I think you hit the mic cord or something, maybe. I don't know.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, I'm gonna stay closer. I'm gonna stay closer. So hello.
Hey.
So
hey.
Yeah. Can you hear me? I'll be back to pick you up later.
I can hear you.
That's right. If being a social media influencer, so many people do not understand what that is.
Yeah.
So can you explain it?
Well, I'm trying to explain to my wife that I'm an influencer.
You tell people what to do and they do it?
No, it doesn't work at home. I tell my daughter, I'm like, hey, don't talk to me like that. I'm an influencer. She doesn't care. So I don't know. I mean, I don't look, other people have called me an influencer. I'm just a dude out here, trying to figure it all out like everybody else is. I'm not, look, I became friends with Grant Cardone, and I won a trip on his private jet. And in lieu of taking the trip, when they called to schedule him flying in to pick me up, I said, you know what? I'd rather just spend my own money, come to Miami and sit one-on-one with Grant and pick his brain. And I mean, Forbes magazine said that he's the guy to follow in 2020 on social media.
Wow.
But, I flew down to Miami. He charges $100,000 now for 4 sessions, one-on-one coaching. And he gave me 3 hours, and literally it changed my life that day. And this was several years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. And one of the things he said that I've heard him say multiple times is, hey, Colleen. I love Colleen. There's a good girl right there.
Awesome. Colleen.
She's a Texas girl too, down in the San Antonio area, I believe, down that way.
Awesome.
So anyway, he said, look, you have to manufacture your own celebrity. Celebrity is just the way that other people view you. I mean, it's not anything other than that. So, I don't know how I did it. I get obsessed about things. So, when I learned that live streaming is such a powerful, powerful thing to do, that most people, and it blows my mind that most people, 99% of the business owners in this country or this world, are not using live streaming. And yet, we have these devices right here that we're carrying with us everywhere. It's literally having a TV station in your pocket at all times.
Yeah.
And people aren't using it. And so, I just got obsessed with it. I became very, very obsessed with live streaming, social media, and the ability that we have to impact other people in a positive way. And look, it can also be a negative thing. So, So I don't know what influencer means. I mean, I don't know how I got that subtitle or whatever.
Well, I mean, do you what you just said, why do you think so many people are scared to get on social media or to utilize it to their benefit? Because I meet business owners and people all the time, just like what you said. They go, I don't want to be on that camera. I don't want to. And I'm thinking, but you're the face of your business.
Yeah.
People want to know who they're dealing with. It's the whole world's become reality TV at this point. And if you're not going to, utilize yourself or learn to do something where somebody can connect and know that it's you, I think you're missing out. I mean, why do you think people are still so scared of that?
I can only speak for myself. I was scared because I in the back of my mind, I was thinking, what if an ex-girlfriend shows up, or what if and says, like, well, what anything, like, it was just all of these thoughts, like, what if, and it's here at the end of the day. First off, out of over 2,500 live streams I've done, there's only been a couple of times where idiots show up and talk smack.
Yeah.
I've never had an ex-girlfriend show up and talk smack. Knock on wood.
It's hysterical.
Yeah. But it comes down to, and Colton's right. They're afraid of being seen and judged for making mistakes on camera. But here's the thing. And this is the point that I drive home. I mean, Jeffrey Gitomer, who is a 4 times New York Times bestselling author, and the Little Red Book of Selling, and which is the #1 sales book on the planet. He has a book coming out called Go Live. Well, I taught Jeffrey Gitomer about live streaming, and so he called me up and he said, "Hey, I want you to write one of the opening chapters in my new book." And so I have a chapter in that book. It hits the bookstores on December the 3rd. And
awesome.
And I recorded my portion of the Audible book. So
that is fantastic.
It's exciting, but and fear is a liar. So, when it comes to the fear is exactly what Colton said. It's the fear of being judged. It's the fear of all the what ifs that it's the same reason that people don't succeed in life. They're afraid of failure. They're afraid of what other people are going to say if they do fail. They're afraid of, what if I put in all of this work and it doesn't work out for me?
Yeah.
And they let that stuff play out, which I've done a million times. You let that tape run and then you just stay paralyzed in fear.
Exactly. And it's so true. And what's so interesting, this is perfect timing, because my next question was, what were your biggest fears when you started all this, if you had any, and how did you overcome them?
Well, I started doing website development professionally in 2002, and then I took a sabbatical. It's a long story, but I took a couple of years off, and then I went back and decided to form my company, the LLC. And the day that I decided to do it, I was fresh out of a divorce. And I was staying at a doctor friend of mine's condo, and I was there for 60 days. I was moping. I didn't have a job. I was just and I smoked cigarettes back then. Yeah. And like, I was out of money, and he comes home one day and he goes, "Dude, you need to get out of my house." I go, "What?" And he goes, "You need to make a plan and get the blank out of my house." I go, "I thought we were best friends, dude. What's up?" And he's like, "I'm not going to enable this behavior anymore. You need to go. You need to figure it out. You got 2 weeks, figure it out." And I was like, wow. And I said, "Well, I don't even have money to put gas in my car." And he goes, "Or buy cigarettes." And he goes, "Here's $20. Go figure it out. That's the last $20 I'm giving you."
Wow.
And
really quickly, how long were you at his house when he came in and said this?
60 days, about 2 months, little less than that. And so that day I went out And I said, well, what am I going to do? And he goes, get back into website development and marketing, dude. You're a genius at that stuff. Do it. And I go, okay, fine. You know, what am I going to call the company? What do I saw a client. I love, him and I used to hang out and watch CSI Miami because of all the girls in bikinis. And, and so I go, oh, I could call my company CSI. That would be memorable. And he's like, oh, that's a great idea, but like you can't use crime scene investigators. I go, right. So it's Client Solution Innovations is my and it's all because of CSI Miami, by the way.
I love it. I love it.
And so I started. That day I went out and look. I bought a pack of cigarettes. They were $3 a pack, so I had $17 left. I put $10 gas in my car. I had $7 left for lunch, and I had no idea where the next penny was coming from. My credit was destroyed from this divorce, so I had no credit cards, nothing. And so I went out that day, and Kelly, I started knocking on doors, and I knocked and knocked and knocked and going business to business. Hey, can I help you with your website? Can I help you with your website? And finally at like 3:00 in the afternoon, I went to McDonald's and ate off the dollar menu that day for lunch. But at about 3:00 in the afternoon, this guy says, yes, I need a couple of things done and I'll give you $600 to do it. I go, perfect. He goes, I'll give you half now and half when it's the balance when it's completed. I said, perfect. He goes, all right, I'll write you a check. Who do I make the check payable to? I said, I didn't even have a company yet. I said, well, my friends call me Cash.
Yeah.
So he wrote me a check. I went and cashed it. I took that money the next day. I stayed up all night doing his website stuff, got it all done. Next day went and got the balance, took that, went to the Secretary of State and filed my LLC paperwork for $125. And that's where it all began for me. And, you know, I look, when you're staying at a buddy's house, sleeping in the sunroom on a daybed, which is what I was doing. That's not homeless, but I didn't have my own home. And I was very, very grateful for where it all started. But, you know, that's where it all began. And so, and along the way, I just, you know, I teach people, you know, I have an academy, which you have scrolling across the bottom.
That's right.
I have a course. It's an academy that I teach, not just live streaming, but I teach social media. I teach how to make an impact, become an influencer on social media. I'm also an Amazon influencer. Amazon gave me this influencer status and this influencer store. They reached out to me a few months ago and said, we'd like to invite you to be an Amazon live influencer, which means I can live stream directly on Amazon. So I have authors. Yeah, I have authors reaching out, wanting me to, you know, and it's directly to all of Amazon's customers. So, you know, it's really kind of cool.
Oh yeah. Millions and millions and millions. I mean,
hundreds of millions.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So yeah.
That is awesome. Well, you know, when did you start? I've got this scrolling across. When did you start the Grow Live Academy? And you know, has this been around for a while?
It's been around since January.
Wow. This year.
So maybe I think the idea started in November or December. But I didn't launch it, I don't believe, until somewhere around January. But and you know, it's going pretty okay. I mean, it's not, look, it's nowhere near where you know, I think that's common. We underestimate the amount of work it's going to take to get anything off the ground. It takes a tremendous amount of work and commitment and you know, and then a lot more and a lot more and a lot more. But you know, I think that having people like Colleen is a client and a dear friend of mine. She's in my academy, and she's amazing. But having people in my life like her and like Jennifer and having mentors like Grant Cardone and Jeffrey Gitomer and Mark Victor Hansen, who wrote, he holds the world record for number of books sold on this planet.
Wow.
With over 600 million books sold in the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. And
goodness.
Every time I call him, he answers his phone,
Yeah.
and he's a good friend and a mentor and has given me some really good guidance in life. And I'm blessed. And Kelly, here's the bottom line to it all is this. When people learn how to get out of themselves and figure out how to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently had Grant Cardone pop on a live stream with me about a month and a half ago, after he finished filming Undercover Billionaire, which is a TV show on Discovery Channel.
One of my favorite shows.
Oh my gosh. And see, he is season 2, which comes out in January.
Okay. They're not going to do it until January.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he popped on and we talked about that for about 30 minutes, but it's the way that you become an influencer. If you want the secret, here's the secret: figure out how to help other people grow in life.
Yeah.
And it's that simple. I mean, Zig Ziglar said it. His most famous quote is if you help enough other people get what they want out of life, you'll have everything you want in life.
Absolutely. Something with the masses, dine with the classes.
Yeah.
Whatever that, I can't remember the exact quote, but you're exactly right. And it's like, and we talked about this, you were talking about this on your show one morning, and about, just start helping other people. I mean, you can only, help yourself so much. And then you're like, it's your nail, one of your feet is nailed in the floor, and you keep turning and turning, and you're not going anywhere. You're not growing. You're not moving, because all you're doing is serving yourself, and that's not what life is about. You're missing out on everything. Yeah. And, I totally agree with you. Yes, Colleen, thank you. Amen. That's exactly right. Ken, first of all, I am so honored that you took the time to do my show.
I'm honored to be here.
Really, it's just a huge honor to have you. And, what do you think is the biggest mistake that people make as soon as they start doing lives or doing social media promotion and stuff like that? What do you find that people are doing most that's wrong?
I'm going to go back to what I just said. They think that it's all about them, and it's not. They don't acknowledge the audience. And here's an example I've used many, many times. I've seen so many people go live and they don't even acknowledge the audience's comments. They don't say hi to Colton. They don't say hi to Colleen. They don't acknowledge them. And it would be, I look at it like this. If wherever, I don't know, I forget what city you're in. You told me.
Yeah. Kemah, Texas.
Kemah, Texas. Okay. Yeah. So if I was walking down the street in Kemah, Texas, and you were, and we crossed paths, and you went, Ken, hey, how you doing? And I just like ignored you and kept walking, because I so many people say, well, I always go back and respond to the comments after the live stream. Like, no. So that'd be like walking down the street in that scenario. You say hi to me, I ignore you, and then later I send you a text message going, Kelly, it was so great seeing you today on the street. And you'd be like, yeah, what is wrong with you, you moron? Like I said hi to you while we were live there in person. Yeah. And so I think that, the number one mistake is they think everything is about them. Yeah. My goal on this planet is to wake people up to the fact that everything is not about you.
Yeah.
It's about everybody else too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is, I think that is unfortunately, and I have a question that kind of goes into a little bit off this subject, but kind of includes this group of people. But this younger generation tends to think everything revolves around them.
Yeah.
There is almost a lack of empathy, of sharing, of appreciation, of gratitude for others and what other people's talents are, and how that it's good to do that. And on Sunday, you had posted. You said learning how to reframe a bad situation can turn it into something good. Learning how to reframe a good situation can make it great. Become the master of your thoughts. Assume responsibility for everything that happens and reframe it to create an exceptional life. I loved that. I made a copy of it because I totally agree with everything you said, and it's so good, and we all need to hear it every day. Why do you think so many young people, especially young people, and there are older people that do this, but why do you think so many younger people don't do this? They don't live by this.
It's actually, it's simple. I look, my grandparents said that Elvis was the devil up there on stage shaking his pelvis all over the place. And then my parents said Depeche Mode and Ozzy Osbourne were going to be the end of the world. And so I think it's a generational thing. But like, because look, one of my favorite quotes is pain is the predecessor of all wisdom. And we have a generation of snowflakes.
You're not kidding.
But it's our fault.
It is our fault.
It's not theirs. It's our fault. And if we take responsibility for that and start smacking the crap out of these kids,
exactly.
I don't care if you're 24 years old and you're living in my house and you're my kid, I'm going to smack the crap out of you when you don't get up off your butt and go do something with your life.
Exactly.
And you don't like it, move out. Like,
exactly. And I have to say good morning to my daddy who's watching. John Paul.
Hey,
excellent
Daddy.
interview. I knew he was.
Hey, John. Nice to meet
Yeah.
you.
And Colleen said, boom. That's right. Colleen, that says it all right there. Thank you, Colleen. And look, your
James Baudouin, my buddy James.
Nice. Funny to see KW on the website. Exactly. I was excited for today, James.
Yeah.
It's awesome. James, where are you from?
He's in Connecticut.
Okay, because he's got a French name.
Well, he's from Canada, eh?
He is? Okay, so that's one of your A friends, eh?
Yeah.
Good morning,
But
eh?
he lives in Connecticut. He's a great dude.
Love that. Love it. But I totally agree with you. I think everybody got a trophy for some reason.
Yeah. But it's our fault.
It is. It's hard.
Not theirs. It's not theirs.
They just grew up with people not reprimanding them.
We've coddled. Coddled way too much. And I'm not saying that you I mean, look, it's pain. Who was it? Shakespeare, I believe, said the greatest disservice we do to our children is steal away their hunger.
So good.
Some of the stuff that I see these kids doing, I mean, if I would have been out rioting and setting businesses on fire, I'm pretty sure I would have been killed at home. Like, not beaten, killed, like dead, like you're out of here. Like, so, I don't understand that. I can't relate to that. There was a really healthy fear on my part of doing something stupid because, I back when I was in high school or in school, you got paddled by the teacher if you were out of line.
Yeah, if you were talking.
Yes, right. It's right.
I mean, there was no tolerance.
No, zero. And worse than that is it's not necessarily the paddling by the teacher, although that was no fun. it was what happened when you got home.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yes.
And we've removed that. We removed God from the schools. We removed, and now we're all wondering, why is everything in such an upheaval? It's because we've removed, we've removed consequences. We've removed everything. We've removed God and consequences from everything. It's horrible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love this. Hi, Nancy. It's KW Teamwork. Excellent discussion. Love that. And Colleen, most definitely, my father would have beat my, yes. Yeah, I totally agree. That's missing nowadays. And you know, what's great, Ken, is that your story that we started off with when you were talking about your background and really how you started on your way to huge success.
Yeah.
That your friend said, I'm sorry, you're out.
Yep.
You can't stay here anymore. You can't do this anymore. Here you go. This is your limit. And this reminded me when you said he gave you $20 and said, this is all I'm giving you. This is it. Figure out what to do with it. Yep. Reminded me of your interview with Grant Cardone. And you said, what is your advice to people who want to become successful? He said, act like you're down to your last $100.
Yep.
Or you have nothing and you have to figure it out. Yeah. And that's why I can't wait for his
Undercover
show to come out, because I wish everybody needs to be watching these shows.
Yep. I agree.
People. But I love that story about you, because I never knew that. And you always find out kind of what happened. It's always interesting to find out what happened in people's lives where it was just because nobody can do it for you.
No.
And this is what these younger generations are not being taught by their parents. Sorry, okay, I'll fix it. I'll do it. It's okay. Those people are bad because they said you were bad.
Yep.
Or that's not fair. They didn't give my son or daughter this. Or where is this cut? I don't know where it started. It's very odd to me.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden there was this shift of no responsibility, no personal responsibility at all. Yeah. And this is now what we're reaping.
But see, I believe it has to level itself out.
Yeah.
I mean, it will. It always does. And there again with the changes in technology, I mean, my grandparents, for the majority of their lives, and their parents never experienced a television, right? Like they were around when the radio started becoming something. So, with the changes in technology, things change. My 10-year-old daughter has 10,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And so now there's this, and we I think do a pretty good job at helping her stay, like level-headed about it, and it's not about how many likes you get and all of that. But like there's just all of these massive changes in technology, and our kids are coming along. We've also, and Colleen is right. She says the generation entitled, James saying the blame game.
Yes.
If we as parents of these children take responsibility for it and say, okay, I'm the reason that my kids are out of control, because I didn't do anything about it. I made sure they got a 4th place trophy when they should have not gotten a trophy at all. And they should have sucked it up, Buttercup. You lost. Now go work on yourself. Tiger Woods' dad used to take him out and make him hit golf balls in lightning thunderstorms, like in horrible, horrible conditions. And and I'm talking thousands and thousands of golf balls in these horrific conditions. And today he might be put in jail for that.
Oh, absolutely.
We've allowed our lawmakers to set these stupid. Anyway, I won't even get into that. But
it's true. It's so true. And my mom said, I love what he said about the kids. Today, kids are afraid to root or make anything. They get out in the real world. It's so true.
It is true.
And James says, right. And I want to go back real quick because Nancy's watching from the Philippines. Thank you so much, Nancy. We appreciate that, and it's so true. And I want to tell you a quick story. I have a very good friend of mine. Her little girl was born without one arm.
Yeah.
So she only has one arm. Well, she, I'll never forget. She said that the doctor told her when she was born, he said, you are only going to make her as handicapped. She will only be as handicapped as you make her.
Yep.
Or she either will be or she won't be. And so
Yep.
I interviewed this little girl, has grown up. She's 23 now. She's loved, one of my favorite people in the world. Well, she's grown up, and one of the stories when I interviewed her, she said, Miss Kelly, I remember being 8 years old, and I had taken a bunch of toys out into the front yard to play. And my mom said, Faith, it's time for dinner. And she said, you need to clean up all your toys. And she said, well, are you going to help me? And she goes, well, you took them all out there by yourself.
Yep.
So bring them all back in by yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, it was this, be grateful for what you have, personal responsibility, and work hard, and you can do anything. And it's this, like Colleen and James were saying, blame game, generation entitled, and I agree with you. I think it's going to come to a screeching halt.
Yep.
I think pretty quickly, because our generation is sick of it.
And again, I agree with that, but our generation is also part of the problem with it.
Exactly.
Like we got it, like your kids get my mom, she showed me some tough love, and I resented the hell out of her for it for a long time. But I get it now. I totally get it.
Yeah.
And we can't, again, the greatest disservice we do to our children is steal away their hunger. Like, you've got to want it. I wanted success. I'll back up. Like in high school, 12th grade, the guidance counselor calls me to the office, and I was in a really, really bad environment at home. It was bad, and whatever, doesn't matter. I let that go. But he calls me to his office, and he says, hey, graduation's coming up in a few months, and you didn't get a biology credit in 10th grade. And I'm like, yeah, that class sucked. I hated it. Like, I'm never dissecting a frog again. What the heck do I need that crap for? And he's like, yeah, well, you need it to graduate. You have to have that credit. And I tried to negotiate, and I said, well, what about, I'll come back this summer. And he's like, no, you have to come back a whole year next year for at least half a day. You have to take 4 periods or whatever. And I'm like, okay, now y'all are getting out of control, ridiculous. That's not happening. So I walked out that day. I walked out and did not graduate high school.
Yeah. Wow.
And never got a GED because I just felt like it was an admission of failure. I didn't go to college, but I'm going to tell you something. I've had 1,000 college graduates work for me.
Exactly.
And about half of them couldn't pour piss out of a boot if the instructions were on the heel.
No, it's so true. It's so true.
But back at 20, 21 years old, I realized that oh God, I'm really, and I always felt really insecure about, I don't feel insecure about not graduating now, but back then I did. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to learn. And so I started reading books. Wow. And I became obsessed with reading books. And buying at one point I was reading a book or more every single week. And I just became obsessed with it. And I'm still obsessed with reading. And I get a book delivered almost daily to my house. And, I've always said, Kelly, like, okay, the information that we're teaching our children, or we're being taught as children in school, where did that come from? Who originated those thoughts? Who decided biology was so damn important in life? Who made that decision? Like, I don't need to know how photosynthesis works to know that I'm breathing oxygen, unless I'm going to be a biologist for some reason or something, then that makes sense. Or I'm going to be a physician, then yes, definitely. I want a guy with a lot of credentials and training professionally to operate on my brain if I ever need it. I don't want some Joe the plumber doing it. Right. So, I think that we need to take personal responsibility for everything in our life. Everything. And most importantly is self-education.
Yeah.
And I don't think most people understand that until much later in life.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And it's really interesting because you go through life, and I remember being a waitress in college and doing odd jobs and doing things while I was in school, and then dancing and trying to do what to get scholarship money and do things. And I think it's not that you enjoy things when you're doing it because you don't really appreciate, but you realize putting yourself in positions and different things and learning and being responsible and trying to learn different things.
Yeah.
It just makes your whole life so much fuller. And it's everybody's responsibility, like you said, to go learn something, start doing something, because when you're 60 or 70 years old and then you're going, I feel lost. I don't know. What did you do?
Right.
And we're not, I think we're missing, it seems to be, we're missing teaching these younger kids to learn different things and do things and enhance their life. And, like you said, you started reading.
Yep.
And reading, and it's wonderful. And I think too many people don't do that anymore, especially with technology.
Yep. It's true. We've got to learn that life is our responsibility. It's nobody else's. If I win, it's my fault. If I fail, it's my fault. But if I fail, I don't stay stuck in that failure. I've fallen down a million times. It's about getting back up. And sometimes for me, it's about getting back up with a serious attitude. Like, is that it? Is that all you got? Bring it. Like, come on.
Exactly.
That was weak.
Exactly. And it's almost like Colleen. Yeah, I keep my daughter on a short range. She hates me at times. Yeah. And it's so true, Colleen, because they don't appreciate. They won't until they're older. That's biology teachers said it was important.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. That's so true. That's the only reason we had to take
it. Horrible. I believe that's true.
Yeah. No, it's so funny. How can people follow you on social media or contact you to find out more about all of your things that you teach and do?
Well, the Grow Live Academy that you have scrolling across the bottom, that is the academy that I created, and it's all about social media and going live and growing your business or your brand. I do a weekly coaching call on Thursday evenings in that as well. I've had my buddy Glenn Morshower come in, who's been a Hollywood actor for 45 years. He's my best friend in the world. Glenn has come in and taught in the academy or in the coaching calls 3 different times. The first time he spent 3 hours coaching people. There were grown men in this group crying. It was amazing. It was amazing. Jeffrey Gittimer's come in and done some coaching. Craig Duswald, who toured with Guns N' Roses. He was Axl Rose's personal assistant. He came in and did coaching a couple weeks ago. And then I do a lot of coaching in there as well on Thursdays. But then there's 110 or 113 training videos to the course as well. So, and James is also, he's a client of mine and he's a member of Grow Live Academy. Thanks, James. I appreciate that. Awesome. So that the Grow Live Academy is a great, again, I feel, whatever, but it really is. It's a great, and we have a very close knit family now. It's really cool. And then kenwalls.com is my main website. You can follow all of my social medias on there. I think TikTok's even on there. Of course, I've been getting on Parlor a lot now.
Yeah.
I had Dinesh D'Souza share my post on Parlor.
Nice.
He's got millions of followers, and holy crap.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. This is 2 days ago.
I
Yeah.
just got on, so I haven't even really started following anybody yet. So I need to go follow you.
Yeah.
Make sure I do that and start doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I look, if anybody ever, I do a lot of one-on-one coaching as well with people. And so, if anybody ever wants to talk, I mean, just hit me up. Ken at clientsi.com is my email, but just go over to kenwalls.com. That's a good place to start. So
yeah. And I want to tell people, what's so great is you can catch Ken's shows every morning on Facebook Live on his Facebook page. They're so good. They're so good. It's amazing. And what I really appreciate about you is that you not only teach technology, things, social media, but it's about life. I mean, you always include something that would make somebody's life better. And I really, really love that about your stuff. I think that's what has really attracted me to your stuff so much, because it's not just a class kind of stuff or learning. It's very personal.
Thank you.
And
that's the way I want it to be.
Yeah. It's just so good. It's so good. And Colleen, yes, best coach ever. Guys, if you are not following Ken Walls, he's somebody that you need in your life. He's amazing. And I am so grateful that you took the time to come talk with me today, because this has been so much fun getting to know you. And I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm so excited. Well, I know you're getting ready to fly out to do some.
I'm driving.
Oh, you're driving. Oh, that's gonna be nice. Is it good weather?
I'm not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Sorry. We won't even have that discussion. But I'm not wearing a damn mask to get on an airplane. So
don't you wear one in your car though, while you're by yourself and the windows are rolled up?
No, I'm not that stupid. No.
That's hysterical. I'm sorry.
Sorry. If I just offended somebody, I'm just saying, you may want to take a look at it. Like if you're wearing a mask with your windows rolled up by yourself in your car driving down the road.
It's disturbing.
I always think, stop watching CNN. My God, stop. Anyway.
It's so true. So Ken, hold on. I'm just going to put Nancy. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. And James, thank you, James, for watching today. Great show. We appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, and listen, everybody watching, make sure you share this out. Stop being selfish. Share it out.
Yes, please share it out. Listen to Ken. Listen to Ken. Help others. Help others. Yes. Ken, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I've been looking forward to this, and it was a blast.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, well, have a good day and have a really safe trip.
I will. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.